Okay, okay.
All right, welcome everyone. Tuesday, June 4th, 2022, regular Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. I'm Derek Parks, Chair, and tonight we have Mr. Leroy here, Vice Chair, Kim Campbell, Secretary, and James here as a member. And with the city staff, we have Mr. Ed Hartman, who's the Director of Development. First, consent agenda item tonight is approving the minutes from December 6, 2021. Members, I think we have time to review that. Do you have any questions on the 6 minutes?
I don't have any questions.
I don't need.
Can I have a motion, please?
Second motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next items here we have is new business. We have 2 of those tonight. The first one, which is conduct a public hearing and consider amending plan development, PD-70, to provide for minor changes to the text ordinance, or specifically eliminate the word commercial throughout, located at 102 Bowie Drive, further described as 5.7 acres, Lot 2R, Block B of the Red Oak Industrial Park in the city of Red Oak, Texas. Case number Z as in zebra 22001, requested by the city of Red Oak. Staff.
This is on the property we looked at last month for, it's in our industrial park. There's kind of been some confusion on the labeling of the original ordinance that says to allow for a new commercial industrial building, and those 2 words are not synonymous. They're have specific definitions in our zoning ordinance. There's a commercial district and there's a zoning and an industrial district, and so we wanted to eliminate commercial as this is in the industrial park of the city. And so all we're doing is taking the word commercial out of this ordinance.
And that would be to, let's say, for instance, if I decide to buy property or they want to build a grocery store, that's not what that area is going for.
Right. It's meant to be the industrial park
Right.
of the city where you don't want
Retail and
retail.
hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. So it's very simple. That's all the request.
Got it.
And I think I went through it. I only found 2 instances of it. The attorney's going to go through it to actually make sure there's no other instances of it. But he drafts the final ordinance.
Okay.
All right, and this is a public hearing, so tonight, those in favor of this item, we'll let you start off first. Please state your name and your address, and you have the floor. I don't know if we have anyone by Zoom.
Do we have anybody else on, John? I don't see anybody on there.
Have anybody in favor of this item? Have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. You go ahead. Should you have any questions about the agenda item A?
We vote. So do we need to make a motion to vote, change it, or?
Yeah, you would need to make a motion to change it as written.
Have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to change it, item A as written, to eliminate the word commercial.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
opposed. Agenda item A has been approved. The next item here is item B, is, conduct a public hearing and consider amending the City of Red Oaks zoning ordinance to add a definition for distribution and fulfillment center. Case number Z as in zebra 22002, case requested by the city.
Okay, so right now in our zoning ordinance, we don't have, a definition for someone like, say, if Amazon wanted to come in who's like a fulfillment center, like they bring in packages, then they ship them out, right? And they're like the final mile or wherever they would want to go. We don't have any specific definition for that. And with the explosion and popularity of those types of businesses and business models, we want to make sure that we have something that we can specifically define those uses as. Because right now we have to classify them under like office warehouse, which doesn't necessarily, the definition of office warehouse doesn't necessarily encapsulate what those businesses do. And so it doesn't, in my opinion, take an appropriate account of things that should be considered like parking. So, and I'll read the definition we're proposing here. And so we don't have anything like this, so this would allow us to define these uses specifically for it. Distribution and fulfillment center shall be defined as a facility where goods or products are stored on-site temporarily for the purpose of delivery to a retailer or other final destination. Such facilities may include automated systems, office space, and a pick and pack area to be used by employees for sorting and packaging goods and products for delivery from available on-site inventory and shall not include or be interpreted as an office showroom warehouse, which is our current thing we would have to define something like that as, with an shall not be included or interpreted as an office showroom warehouse with an accessory delivery distribution use, or to include a facility to store components for manufacturing or fabrication. Distribution and fulfillment centers are prohibited in all districts, and then we laid out the section where it would go in the table in the zoning. So if someone wanted to do that, they would need to come in and ask for a plan development.
But so, as it is right now, they could come in, and say, hey, we want to build a huge office building, and then, based on what the interpretation is, we actually run a fulfillment center because we're following the guidelines that we currently have.
That it could be. So if they were honest with us and said, you know, I'll just use Amazon, because Amazon is so well known, and they're really well known on what they do and how they do it. But if they came in, we could possibly, I'd have to ask the attorney, we could possibly interpret them under office showroom warehouse, but again, that doesn't factor in, that definition in our zoning ordinance, to me, does not factor in all the other things that go along with a distribution and fulfillment center. So we may have to interpret it or classify it as a new and unlisted use. There's a specific process that we'd have to go through that with the attorney, or put them in a planned development district that would allow that.
From your knowledge or understanding, because I know Lancaster just built another Walmart distribution center and a fulfillment center. What is, and the way that Walmart is using it, is that kind of like a retail store where they just send stuff out, and then they have the distribution center with all the trucks that are bringing it from store to store?
Yeah, my understanding is that the distribution is for the other Walmart stores,
Right.
and the fulfillment is for like the
Local.
online, local or online sales.
Okay. I know they're
But
building-
I don't know their business model, I haven't researched all that, but that's
Because
my.
I do know they're doing too, and I got the article, I think I sent it out before, but they are doing too, that's well under construction.
Yeah, and I think there's some other components you'd want to consider, you know, if we were brought a zoning case that had this type of use, there's other, you know, factors from a city standpoint, of like, is it creating jobs that we want? Is it serving, or all the people that are gonna work here, are they gonna be able to live in the city? You know, are they paid high enough to live in our city, or are they coming from other, are they gonna have to come in from the surrounding community? Are we creating, something good for Red Oak, right?
I have one last question about it. So, where we have all the data centers, where we build the road to go all the way down, and where Compass has acquired the other side of the land, could an Amazon come in here and buy, or is that area there protected by a zone or just data centers?
It's not, no, it's not specifically zoned that way yet. As they continue to develop, it will be zoned specifically that way, and we, if I remember correctly, in those districts, we specifically disallowed things like office showroom warehouse in that district, had it as a single use. I'd have to go back and forth.
And the only reason I ask is, I don't know if they're familiar, but I went back there with Lee yesterday, and what's happening with the data centers and the land and that road that they built right there? What's going in back there, and then what's going on with the substations and stuff? I just wait to see someone come in and just buy that land and try to force us to that.
Right, and that's
Because that would
why
interrupt.
yeah, so that's why we specifically in their zoning disallowed that use, because we didn't want them to build buildings.
Right.
And then maybe 10 years from now or something, be like, data centers aren't cool anymore, so
Right.
let's turn it into a big, not that.
Right,
But
exactly.
that's one of the things we kind of thought about when we were thinking through, you know, okay, how do we write this thing so that it still gives them the comfort level that they need with, you know, buying the land and building their product, but also gives us the protection of saying, like, no, you're gonna build this thing, it's gonna be what you said it was gonna be.
Right.
So, yeah, we did think about that. So any new zoning would also incorporate that type of language. Yep.
This is a public hearing, so those in favor of this item, please state your name and your address. And after that, we'll go to the individuals that are against this item. Also to state your. So, anyone for this item? Anyone against this item? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Is, are there any questions about this, Jim? Have a motion, please? Approve. B. All in favor?
All right.
So, agenda item B has been approved. I have a motion to close the meeting tonight.
Motion that we close the meeting, planning and zoning on.
Seconded.
Except, we are adjourned. Thank everyone for coming here tonight.
Thanks, guys.